Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to work on the kettlebell half kneeling hip drop. This exercise is part of a Turkish get-up breakdown series. This video falls into a big series of videos set up in a playlist so people can learn kettlebells one movement at a time, changing one thing per video. The hip drop part is where it gets hard for most people doing the Turkish get-up. When we do the Turkish get-up, we start getting down. So we start with a clean, we go to a step back lunge, we go to our half kneeling position, we work on our clean, our press, our high windmill in that position, and we also start from the ground up. Ground press, press to roll, press to elbow, press to hand, or the half get-up. Then we train the hip drop from both sides, from the top down and from the bottom up. This video is the top down hip drop portion of the movement. Get down to your half kneeling position any way you want. The important part is that the lead leg is approximately 90 degrees. The rear leg is approximately 90 degrees. If one knee is too far forward, this is a different position that's more advanced. Get to our half kneeling position, solid heel on the ground, lead foot pointed straight ahead. The lead leg hand is the one that we're going to use to pick up the kettlebell. Thumb pointed up, thumb pointed down. The L of the hand goes to the L of the kettlebell. Kettlebell is in line with the instep of the lead leg. We're going to hike the weight back, bring the kettlebell close, press overhead, and find the ground to start. Then we will add the hip drop. Thumb up, thumb down, grab the kettlebell, push back, catch, overhead press, lockout, free hand, slide down, touch the ground. Here is the exercise of the day. Drop the hip, lift the knee up, sit out and through, sit the hip all the way down. Keep that elbow and tricep locked out. Drive with the base hand, shoulder away from the ear, elbow locked. Lift the hip up off the ground, lead heel stays flat. Bring the knee all the way back in line with the hand, and repeat. Leg goes out, drop down, straighten the arm all the way out, make the neck long, lift up. Knee comes all the way back. That's the hard part. Again, sit out, sit down, straighten the arm, lift the hip, bring it all the way back. To get out of it, orient the body upright, square the shoulders, bring the kettlebell down to collarbone height. Push the weight back, set the weight down exactly where you picked it up. Let's talk about the thing that is most likely to go wrong. We're training from the top down so that this starting position is good. That way we know we're starting in the right spot, so we know where we need to bring our knee back to. Getting down is easy, getting back is hard. That free hand touches the leg, slides down, moves away from the body, palm flat on the ground. Something that people will want to do is put their fingers on the ground, but not put their palm on the ground. Put your whole hand flat on the ground. When we get through, lead heel stays flat on the ground. If you go so far forward that this foot deviates, it's going to be very hard on you. Keep that heel flat on the ground, foot pointed straight ahead. The elbow might try to bend. Straight elbow, get tall. Lift the hip up. Here is the hard part. The knee needs to come all the way back to the line of the hand. When people do it incorrectly, they will put their knee on the ground way in front of the position that they started in. This will make it hard for people to get up later on. Incredibly hard, actually. So, the most important part is that we put our knee all the way back in line with our hand so that our lead leg is 90 degrees and our rear leg is 90 degrees. That hand overhead, get it all the way down. Heel flat on the ground. Always check that. Knee, lift up. Give yourself space to move through. Put the knee all the way back. If it's even a little bit too shallow, it's going to make it hard to do the get-up portion in future evolutions of the movement. All the way back. We call this the hip drop or the hip pass because the hip is dropping and then passing back through. Getting out is easy. Lifting up and stabilizing the core is a muscle that most people haven't used in a long time. Focus on the overhead lockout. If the top elbow bends, everything gets really hard. Let's demonstrate what happens if the top elbow bends. L of the hand to the L of the kettlebell, hike the weight back, thumb, collarbone height. Overhead press, hold the lockout. Tip your body to the side, flat palm on the ground. Get all the way down. If the elbow bends, your shoulder is going to be in a really bad spot. Press up. Press both arms up. Lift up. Don't let that elbow bend. You're going to do something crazy to your shoulder. All the way back. If something goes wrong, the weight will drop straight down past your body. Focus on the overhead lockout. Do it by pressing up with one hand, pressing down with the other hand, and making your body as long as possible. Getting up and down off of the ground is a fundamental human skill that people lose as they age. When people are babies, they are on their back, they roll to their side, they get to a crawling position, they learn to stand up, they fall down, they learn to get back up again. This is something that everybody in the world learned at a very young age. Most people in the modern world forget it because the modern world is generally convenient and we get to sit in chairs a lot. This is a very hardcore exercise for most people. Just doing it without weight is hard. Actually putting the weight up overhead helps people align their shoulders better so that they can put their core in the right spot so they can learn to get up more effectively. We are using the weight as a training tool. It lets us know where our body is in space so that we can line up around that. Of course, we need to do an equal number of reps on both sides of our body. Most people will find one side doesn't work as well as the other side. This should be part of a larger Turkish Get Up Breakdown program. Everybody should do that at some point in their athletic training, regardless of age, regardless of if they play a sport or not. In order to be healthy, everybody in the world should practice getting up and down off the ground every day for the rest of their life.